All right. Can't start off the day without paying the proper respects to the national anthem as we know it to be. If we ever going to have a moment where we're going to protest, right, there's our moment to protest. Get excited for that, right? What's going on, family? Peace, power, and profit to everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hope you guys are having a great day. I'm not going to be on here, long. Have some, some business to tend to, obviously, later today. But I will try to double back a little bit later on in the late evening, if I'm able to, in that regards, and kind of, kick some things off and keep this, this night going. And I'm saying that because we're still in the thick of trying to figure out, who has won, the seat, down here in 1600 Pennsylvania Street. But of course, it seems to be very obvious at this point that one candidate seems to have a, I guess, if you will, a commanding lead, right? And some of the states that we have been looking at over the past, somewhat day and a half, it has shown to be more of a, at this point, it's just, just wasting time, right? Just wasting time at this point. And they need to just go ahead and get this thing, popping and get it over with. All right. So as the latest here, as we run over here real quick and check out the charts here, and I say the charts meaning the polling charts, right? The polling charts. Thank y'all for coming in as well. I see a few people coming in. Thank y'all for tuning in with your brother today, African Emporium, the African Emporium, but African Emporium YouTube channel. Thank y'all for, being awesome. Compadres, my business constituents, battle mates, peers, intellectual peers, the whole nine. Thank you guys for tuning in. And I'm pretty sure you guys have been following the market too. So of course, it hasn't been nothing shy of a man. It's been fireworks upon fireworks upon fireworks, right? The market seemed to do no wrong, and and it's just been banging it to the upside. But today, well, I should say, with the Fed coming out this evening, we just finished listening to the Fed speak. Of course, today he was scheduled to come out and give some kind of point of a report card, so to speak, of where we are in terms of the market. Of course, he was very reluctant to speak anything about the election. A couple of reporters asked him questions, concerning it, but we all know Trump made it his duty to always pick on and bully Jerome Powell pretty much every time, he had a chance to. And now it's like you can sense it in the way that Powell was kind of standing up there in front of that podium today. He was like, yeah. Finally, the day has come. We're about to do away with this dude sitting up here trying to give me a hard time about my little job. And it was apparent again, like I was saying many times, that, they're pretty much just, again, trying to allow the market to realize that no matter who's in power, they're going to continue on doing what they do. When I say that, meaning the overall infrastructure of America, when it comes to the financial district, their main concern is to what? Keep things moving, keep money being, folded, so to speak, right? Again, those who are more in control of our capital markets or our our commerce value as a whole. Again, the power players out there, again, they don't care who's sitting in Pennsylvania, down there, 1600 Pennsylvania Street. They're just saying, hey, can I still make some money, right? Can I still take advantage of the system? Can I go through the loopholes of the tax plans, right? Can I take advantage of all this, grant money that y'all gonna keep throwing out here? I mean, how much money you gonna keep printing, Jerome Pryor? Can I get ready and start planning to get more, helicopter money, right? That's what big money thinks about, right? They don't care about the minutia. What a lot of people think about, who are, somewhat dependent upon the government. They're just trying to figure out how can they get richer, right? How can they get paid, right? Getting paid, young blood, getting played, right? So, therein lies again why when we look at the market, of course, how it just ran up almost, clearly near about 10% in a matter of 3 or 4 days. I mean, all that was somewhat by design, even though it doesn't seem like it, but it was literally by design. Market, hates uncertainty, right? The market hates uncertainty. So what it does when it's faced with uncertainty, it does what? It climbs the wall of worry, right? We've all heard that terminology before, or that phrase before, right? That's what markets do. They climb the wall of worry. When there's a lot of worrying, they buy. When everything kind of, peaches and cream and ain't nothing going on, that's when they get to selling. And, a lot of people have yet to kind of take ownership of that, that ideology in terms of how the market works. And they keep trying to fight the market, right? They keep trying to make the market do what they want it to do, as opposed to what people who have really big money are going to do. Again, the old saying, even from Warren Buffett, when others are greedy, you get fearful, right? When everybody's fearful, you get greedy. People's fearful about the election. They guy, or may or may not win, the presidency. So, of course, they're, feeling some kind of way. And so a lot of people were trying to spike the market who were, and I'm just saying from some of the message boards that I was reading, in and out these different places like Twitter and StockTwits and all that. A lot of people who are for, pro-Trump, they were trying to spike the market, right? No, this is crazy. The market should be crashing because Trump said if he don't get reelected, the market's going to crash. Y'all remember that tweet, that legendary tweet that Trump put out? Right? When he said that if y'all don't, reelect me, the market's going to crash. Your 401k is going to crash. You're not going to have any money in your 401ks. All your savings going to be gone, right? You don't want to make that mistake and don't reelect me. Of course, his words, not mine, right? His words, not mine, right? And so the market was like, okay, yeah, about that, buddy. Yeah, so what we do over here is that, we're equal opportunists, right? We move at a different drum beat, right? We care about getting paid, and that's the only thing that makes us happy. No matter who's in power, right? We need that ticker running, right? We need them tapes, popping them stocks coming across it, right? We need to have, ample opportunity to keep growing, this opportunity in a way where, we'll do whatever we can, in essence, to do our part in terms of the economy. So no matter what, they're always going to be poised to take advantage of, no matter who's in power. And so we have to be very cognizant of that, especially a lot of us who are new to this, and you're learning how to read the tape, so to speak, as we say, how to read the sentiment of the market, right? That's why I'm always talking about being a big, proponent of psychology, right? Getting your mind wrapped around learning how to be disciplined and emotionless in this industry, where you don't let your emotions precede you in the way that the money is flowing. Because if you try to go against that flow, you're going to get you're going to get ran over, and it's not worth it. So again, when the market is trending strongly in a directional value that shows you, it's saying, hey, hop on, let's take a quick little ride, then by all means, you make sure you follow that mandate. And for what it's worth, it was very clear and apparent that regardless of how the election was going to go down, even on the first night, Tuesday, that is, they were already starting to kind of front load the tech sector, right? It was already said, it was already being thrown around. The newscast was already saying people just going to run to a flight to safety. Well, where's the stocks at a flight to safety? There's definitely going to be stocks like Apple, Amazon, Google, Facebook, this, that, and the third. And not only that, it's kind of like they kind of even gave everybody a hint last week, right? Because previously they did what? A lot of those stocks had earnings last week, and what did most of them do? They sold off. So basically, that was just a clue to say, okay, they're finna turn around and try to buy the dips, right? And they're gonna use that as a catalyst to run the market back up, right? Buy the tech sector, buy the QQQs, buy XLK, right? Buy anything that has a tech value to it that's, seems to have a pretty, decent balance sheet and, good schematics and so to speak, on the technical side. And that's what the market did. And that rally alone from the tech sector, again, a rising tide lifts all boats. That's basically what happened. The SPY fell right in line like it typically does, and they rode, Gravy Valley biscuit wheels, right? They rode the market up, through Gravy Valley with biscuit wheels, and they didn't look back. We talking about the market was sitting at 322.63 at the low of day. All right, it was at 322.63 Friday, right? They took it all the way from there, all the way to basically, y'all saw where it went, right? To where we were today, $352 and 20-some cents. So you're talking about picking up over 30, basically near 30 points. 30 points in a matter of 4 days. 30 points in a matter of 4 days. Just aggressively buying the market up, and everybody that was gonna, again, playing the contrarian trader position, meaning they feel like the market's just gonna dump. Well, of course, it still has the ability to kind of pull back, but I'm not gonna say it's going to crash, right? Because that's what everybody's thinking. Like, it just has to crash now because Trump said that if he doesn't get reelected, the market's going to crash. And people were starting to really, buy into that. So today, a lot of the MAGA crowds out there, of course, if you're a MAGA fan, don't get any feelings because we don't do emotions over here. We do money, right? Right? I'm gonna repeat that for all my MAGA fans out there, right? Don't get in your emotions, right? Because we only care about money over here, right? So a lot of the MAGA fans right now are really, really looking up, screaming to the heavens and trying to figure out what went wrong, right? Not that the election is over. It's just that everything that they was hoping to have, to happen, so to speak, in a very demonstrative way is just not shaping out to be that way. The election is tight. It's obvious that Biden's in the lead. They feel like, okay, well, if that's the case, y'all gonna try to cheat my boy, because now they're trying to say that it's fraudulent. Y'all cheating him. They counting ballots that ain't supposed to. That's not even there. I mean, everything you can think about, they're coming up with every excuse as possible to try to, make sense of how they figure, on an arrogant perspective, that the guy was going to win. Right. So all the MAGA hats right now are looking very suspect. And I said because what you gonna do with all the MAGA hats if Trump loses? All them new MAGA hats that Trump ordered, and they bought all these new, MAGA 2.0 hats. What are people gonna do with those hats if he loses? I'm just asking a simple question, of course. I ain't trying to step on nobody's toes, right? But I'm just trying to ask, what my MAGA fans gonna do out there? What the family gonna do out there? Right? Because it's starting to get very, obvious that, this house finna get, rearranged, right? They finna rearrange the furniture. They finna rearrange the curtains. They finna spray everything down with bleach and Clorox and Lysol, right? Of course, y'all know the whole issue with the coronavirus. I said that early on before the election even kicked off. The biggest thing that the market was kind of, or the voting market was really thinking about is the value of how well the coronavirus situation was handled. A lot of people feel like it wasn't necessarily handled in the best way. So people took their vote to the ballot box with that kind of energy. And they delivered in their mind what they feel like was more feasible for them. We don't know even if Joe Biden does get elected, how well he would do or would not do. Right? It's still up for grabs even with that perspective. But of course, it's still all speculative, right? We just don't know. But one thing we can say thus far is that they've been trying to really, follow the science, right? They've been trying to really follow the science. And then, our Republican colleagues, right, they just been saying, screw science. We all about, putting it in God's hand. We're going to put it in the hands of opening the country back up because we're going to put money as the sole, religion, right? Because money is the religion. And the religion says, open up. No matter what, put your gas mask on and go to work, right? And if you don't put a gas mask on, the virus ain't that serious. If you catch it, you won't pass away. So it's all good. Just going out there and make some money, right? Go build up the country. Of course, that was their energy. That's me paraphrasing, but you guys know as well as I know, that was literally how they were positioning themselves. And so a lot of people looked at it like, man, that's pretty reckless, right? Some people say, well, it wasn't so reckless. I mean, again, what was you going to do? Let the economy crash? Well, therein lies the problem too, because what's most important? Saving lives or saving a couple dollars that you're going to turn around and cut a printer on and print more the next day? Think about that for a moment. What's most important? Saving lives, right? Or just, not understanding that you still have the power to cut on the printer like they pretty much did anyway and pump money into the markets. That's basically what happened. That's basically what happened. And so it was already understood that that was going to be, pretty much one of the tools they're going to use anyway. Of course, the Fed came out, several times, throughout this, coronavirus 10-year value. So, from this year, and was like, hey, we're very accommodative, right? We're going to do whatever we can, right? We're going to backstop everybody, right? We're going to dump unlimited money into the treasury-backed lending loans, collateral loan. We're going to buy junk bonds, muni bonds. We're going to buy everything out there. We're going to pretty much, we're going to monetize the debt, right? Which is by proxy, it's actually unconstitutional. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, right? Because the Federal Reserve is not really a branch of the government. They're a private entity. So they can't be making that kind of, those kind of moves and checks and balances without necessarily the will or the might or the vote of the American people backed by that of the Congress. But somehow they usurped some power because everybody was so disenfranchised by the virus, and they were just out there making all kind of willy-nilly moves. And then, of course, the guy that they look to, that's pretty much their boss, which is Steve Mnuchin, pretty much didn't say nothing. Because, of course, he wouldn't, right? He was all, Trump booed up and trying to handle the business, and making sure that, the corporate side of the house stayed what? Highly liquefied, right? Highly liquid, right? All this new money that was coming in, and it was it's clear as day that, that was the agenda from the get-go, right? That was the agenda from the get-go. So here we go, going into, Friday, it's pretty much, in my mind, again, like I said, my opinion only, I think we're pretty much, down to the last little hour here with these votes. It's looking pretty, it's looking pretty hard for our boy Trump right now. Of course, y'all saw the news today. He filed about 5 or 6 motions for to question the ballots counting scenarios in the state of Georgia, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. Right, he actually flew. Him and his team flew. They're actually on their way right now to Nevada. If they're not already there, I think they're there already, because they're supposed to have a press conference at some point today. But they actually flew to Nevada to try to somehow either intimidate the process there, slow up the process there, whatever they're trying to do. I don't know if it's going to help, but they're on their way to Nevada right now. But they already filed motions for Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin to have recounts or whatever the case they're trying to do. Of course, a lot of these states are already looking at them laughing like, are y'all serious? Are y'all serious? Now, of course, I'm not saying that he don't have a legal right, because, of course, he does have a legal right. He does have a legal right to submit, especially for anything that's close, under 1%, in terms of the margin of the voting, and it's already about 99% of the vote casted. He can obviously acquire to have a recount, but that's just a recount. That don't mean that you get to stop the process, right? Stop the votes from being counted, and then we just throw the rest of those ones, people ballots away, even though they got votes in on time and post dated and postmarked and all that. You can't just throw away these people votes just because at the point where you feel like you was up, the election should be over. So my thing is, I have a serious question to ask the family, especially for anybody that is a Trump fan. Does the people who he have around him must not really love him? And I'm talking about the smart people, supposing the smart people in the room that knows constitutional law, knows civic law, right? All the things that goes along with understanding how this thing works. That you don't get to call a win just because you up at a point in the race when the races ain't even done yet. When there's ballot still needs to be counted, you just gonna call the race, say, I'm good, I won. That's all you need to see right there, I'm good. Rest is history. And I know that seems kind of facetious and odd to say it that way, but that's basically how he presented, his argument. Like, we could not make this stuff up. It's that kind of reality. He's like, you couldn't make this stuff up. I mean, all the things we've gotten through this year alone, over the last 3 years period, with Trump has just been, man, comedic moment from comedic moment, right? It's like, I mean, we got enough material for days to last us for years. Of course, this is not me just saying I have an issue with Trump and this, that, third. I'm just going off based upon what I was witnessing like anybody else. This has been one comedic moment, in history. These last 3 or 4 years. And for the love of me, I can't, understand how, we got this far and the people who know how this stuff works are still sitting around allowing this to happen. That's supposed to be smart. They're supposed to be trained and professional and got certifications and understanding how the process works, and they're still allowing this stuff to go forward. But again, we understand. Right? Because, of course, if it was a Joe Biden crew do it, I'd be going in on Joe Biden. Of course, y'all know I'm neutral. I don't like neither one of them. Right? I don't like neither one of them. So, of course, there's no biases here. Right? But I just know one of them is funnier than the other. And it's obvious, right? Trump is hilarious, man. And Trump is hilarious. Again, he's just been, Twitter banging for the past, basically 36 hours like crazy. His Twitter account is on fire. And I mean, like I said before, they just been what? Blocking his tweets. Every chance they got a chance. Block his tweet, block his tweet, block his tweet, block his tweets. All right? And he's still trying to tweet. Right? He's still out there trying to do whatever he can to kind of, to disrupt the process of how this stuff works, right? The voting process. Right? And it's not going to make the situation any better. It actually makes it worse for him because, I'm just saying, if you think about it from that perspective, you will not, get any more attention than you've already, allowed this to be anyway at this point, this dog and pony show, as if it's going to change the outcome because the ballots are already sealed, right? It's not a scenario where, okay, maybe you can dissuade people from wanting to vote. The vote is over. The vote is over. The count is still ongoing. The vote is over. The count is still ongoing. You cannot change that. You can't bully up into these polling places and take ballots out of there. You can't do none of that. You can't do none of that. Right? So of course, try convincing them that, that's not the case, but therein lies the problem why he's, all over the place right now. I mean, I kind of look at him like, man, he's like a little kid that just can't seem to accept that he can't have everything his way. When I see Trump, this is how I see Trump. Right? I see Trump just like this right here, right? Every time, again, something doesn't go the way he wants it to go, he's going to throw a tantrum. And this is a grown man. This is a grown man that claims to be a billionaire, right? Right? A businessman, so to speak. But he's moving in the way of a little child. Right? He's acting like he's like, a little 13, not even that, little 3-year-old. He's just mad because he can't get what he wants, let it rip, act all crazy and stuff. But again, at some point, he's going to have to realize that the process is, that's how this works. Right? That's how this works. Right? So again, no matter what happens here going forward, the market, like I said before, is going to what? It's going to do what it's going to do. Right? It's going to do what it's going to do. Right? So he got the whole family up in arms right now. So his son Eric, right? They be going in on his kids. Right? I ain't wanted to be talking about it with the kids, but these people grown, right? Barron may get a pass. Little Barron get a pass, but Eric and the other one, they can get it. Right? These idiots here. Right? I mean, look at it. Clear as day. The amount of fraud being reported in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Nevada, Georgia, and Wisconsin is unreal. Please report personal experiences. Please have all facts and evidence. Right? Help stop the voter suppression, irregularities, and fraud. Tell us what you're seeing. Now, y'all know as well as I know. Y'all know as well as I know that ballots that are mailed in, they still have to get counted. And some states don't do theirs like right away because they got to get through all the regular polling people, the person in person, and then they count the ballot. I'm just trying to figure out what part of the game was this that's where it's fraudulent, that they're counting those mail-in ballots. right? What part of the game is that? Now, you see right here, 3 hours ago, his tweet got blocked. 4 hours before that, right? Another hour before that, blocked. Twitter, Facebook, everybody, on these social media apps are going in. They're going in on him. They're going in on him. And this is, could it be this is the silencing of Trump? Could it be that this is the silencing of Trump right now? Oh, real quick, it's Stash Party. Real quick, hold up, real quick. Let's get this money. Let's get this money. Let's get it. Let's get it. Turn up, get this money, turn up. Time to get paid, young blood. Let's get it. Y'all ain't ready. Free money, free money, free money, free money. See, y'all don't see we over here getting paid. We over here getting paid. Juggling around here playing around. Stash cutting them free checks. We just stay in the money, right? We stay getting paid. All right. Coming through on this Thursday. My pocket's kind of thirsty. Where you at, Ober Chris? This is your line. You do this. Certified rapper, certified money trapper. How you want it? Let's get it. All right. All right, cut up a little bit. Have a little fun. It's Thursday, right? It's Thursday. All right, for those who don't know, get your stash account, get equipped, get those free dollars every Thursday when they let loose. Of course, we've been religiously talking about that for a long time, right? It's time for you guys to start to realize how to get this money, right? We get money in a given time, in a given day. If they cutting the check, we there. Shout out to Stash. Shout out to the opportunity that comes along with understanding how to put your money to work for you, right? Bars, there you go, hashtag bars, right? Right, got them old school bars, right? So shout out again to everybody that took advantage of the Stash Party. Of course, it's still going. It stops at 4:15. You still have some time left to get in on that. Get you some of those free stocks, right? Tonight's, of course, is Texas Instrument, right? Texas Instrument is the stock of choice this evening for the Stash Party. Of course, get in on that. Take advantage of, again, like I said, those moments, right? Take advantage of those moments, right? So again, like we were saying too, of course, real quick, we had to take a pause for the call to go get paid, right? Getting paid, right? We had to go get paid real quick. Again, the idea of, this whole, voter suppression, right? This whole voter suppression reality where, of course, this is a playbook that typically comes out of the Republican playbook. Everybody knows that voter suppression has always been a Republican, playbook, or play. And it's hard at this point now, even though we know Trump is not an orthodox, Republican. Of course, he ran under that ticket, right? He's clearly not an orthodox Republican, right? He's far from it. He's everything except it, to be exact. He's more of a socialist Republican, Democrat, liberal. I mean, he all that in one. Of course, you saw that when they began to come up with the idea to kind of dole money out when the pandemic always became an apparent. He was just trying to bail out everybody. Of course, his excuse was, well, it wasn't everybody's fault. It wasn't nobody's fault. But you still have to be fiscally responsible and do things right and save as much as you can in case it ever gets worse. So you don't just unload all your ammunition out the gate up front. But in his case, he was like, man, look, unload the printing press, dump money in everybody's pockets. Of course, a lot of that money went to his corporate buddies, though. See, that's how this stuff works. It went into the pockets of the corporate buddies. It then go down, trickle down to your pockets, right? Of course, the unemployment extra boost, that was a good granted value, right? But beyond that, a lot of people weren't even able to get unemployment insurance. So what do those people do? They had to sit around and watch everybody else get money. As if the pandemic wasn't affecting them. True story. Right? So again, there's a lot to be said about, understanding how this voter suppression thing is all, in itself, it's just a bunch of, whatever, smoke and mirrors. But it's not going to change the outcome. It's not going to change the outcome. I mean, to be honest, I just really feel as if it's not going to change the outcome at this point. I think we're just too far. We're too far deep into the count at this point where there's just no way he can turn any of those states. Keep in mind, he has to make a complete sweep here on out. He has to win Pennsylvania, right? He has to win Pennsylvania. He has to turn around and win also. Let me run over here real quick. He has to turn around and win also Georgia, right? North Carolina, and Arizona. He has to win Pennsylvania, 20 electoral college votes there. North Carolina, 15 there, so that's 35. Georgia, right? So you talk about another 51, right? And then Arizona, right? About 11, right? So 62, right? He has to win all those states in order to win. Of course, 62 points plus his 214 puts him at 276. So that means he has to make a sweep. Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, and take out Arizona. Arizona's still sitting blue for Biden right now. And that lead somewhat in, Arizona and somewhat tight down a little bit, but it's still a demonstrative value. We're talking about over 60,000 votes. Over 60,000 votes still sitting there in favor of Joe Biden here at this point. With Nevada still being a toss-up, but at this point, of course, him going to Nevada, even though that's one of the more closer races at this point too, and it's less of the count that's still in, right? But it's not a whole lot of people in Nevada anyway, because y'all know it's a very, come on, it's Nevada, there's a lot of desert there. The only inhabited places basically, Las Vegas, Reno, everything in between is coyote country, right? It's coyote country in here. Of course, that's what all that look red, because anybody really living in those areas. Of course, they just man, keep America or whatever. I don't know what they're thinking, all right? But all the money and the wealth is located in Reno and Las Vegas. So, of course, all this could be red, all this won't. It's not going to stop in my opinion, of course, that vote coming in, solidly for, I guess, from the way they voted, they voted for a Democrat, right? They voted for a Democrat and Joe Biden. So, no matter how they look at it or, whatever happens here, for him to make a clean sweep at this point, it's just going to be, man, good luck. Look how close Pennsylvania is now. Y'all remember when we looked at Pennsylvania about a day and a half ago, or let's say 24 hours. It was, Trump had a pretty much good commanding lead. That lead now has been cut to under near 50,000 votes now. Right? I mean, this is that kind of, or excuse me, 100, I say 50,000, 100,000, right? They still got a lot of votes still to be counted in and around the area we were talking about before, right? Philadelphia area, of course, Allentown. We already know Pennsylvania is locked and sealed at this point. They still probably got people still counting, mail-in ballots, but those aspects of the state is not going to turn at this point. They're not going to turn from blue to red. As some votes still come in, so it's already looking pretty bleak right now for the buddy. I just don't see how he's going to make any kind of demonstrative comeback. And so now here's what why I want to talk about that, right? Why I really want to go into detail about that, because when you think about it, right, when you truly think about it, that's actually what the stock market actually wanted. They wanted this to be drama. They wanted drama, right? Well, why do I say that? If I was to ask you guys in the back chat, why would the stock market want this kind of drama to unfold, number one, and then to carry on? Why would that be such a big issue? Right? Think about that for a moment, right? What's going on, family? The family that came through the building. What's going on over Stock God in the house? Go subscribe to his YouTube channel right now. Of course, don't think twice. Don't sit there and ponder and posture around. Go subscribe to the channel. You will not be disappointed. You will love it for what is it? You will love it for a lifetime, right? Brother's an awesome trader, came up in the ranks like everybody else, getting it in, making moves every day. Technical analysis, you name it, he got it. Go subscribe to his channel. Peace, power, profit to you, Oba. Happy to have you in the house, right? Everybody else, in the building as well. Oba, Chris, Sister Monica in the house. Oba, Brandon Jemison in the house. Everybody came through so far. Brother Matt's in the building, right? The family of Kurt Gibson in the house. Our family Legendary Eights in the house, right? Our family, who else came through? Faith and Love in the house. Thank you for coming through as well, family. Our family Joe Schmo in the building. Everybody coming through again. Y'all know I'm just going in a little bit. I've got a chance to come in and look in the chat, right? I have to come look in the chat, right? But I get busy. Y'all know I do when I get busy, right? But yeah, well, thank y'all for coming through as well. Again, peace, power, and profit, everybody. Thank you for coming through as well, brother Stock God. I know you're a busy brother as well. That brother, stay busy. He stay like again. That's y'all know I am. Y'all think I'm crazy, right? When it comes to studying, and we be up all time at night, man, that's another one right there. You're another alien, right? Stock God's another alien like that, right? We don't get no sleep, right? It ain't got families, but we understand our grind is that much. It's that serious, right? We have to figure out a way to change this dynamic where our financial freedom is going to come right through our hands, right through our plans, and that's why we take this stuff serious, right? There's no way we're going to sit here and placate ourselves, or as I like to say, we're not going to short sell ourselves, right? Who want to go around shorting themselves all the time, right? I'm not in the business of short selling myself, right? I want to win at all costs, right? And so I'm going to study. I'm going to stay on this grind. I'm going to do what I need to do to make sure I put myself in a position to win. Right. So it's important that we all follow that same mandate, because of course we're in control, right? We're in control of this, right? That's what I love about this. They can't stop us from this, right? They can't stop us now, right? Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the loose. Y'all know the song, right? Right? Y'all know the song, right? So again, talking about a spot, right? At this moment, like I was asking that question, what's it, what's their or I should say this, let me repeat. Let me reframe it. What do they have to gain? What does the stock market or Wall Street has to gain to have the election, being dragged out the longer it's been dragged out at this point? Right. What is the overall, value that makes, their moment superlative to anything that we witnessed, again, all of last week when we were selling off, the week before that when we was kind of showing a lot of weakness. Again, y'all been watching the markets like I have. But all of a sudden, it turned on a dime. A Barry Sanders pivot on a dime. Ran from 322.63 all the way up at a high of 352 and change today. And again, we're talking about 4 days. Roughly 10% or something like that. Some crazy number in percentage gains. I mean, it was so animate that you could just throw a call buy. If you was trading options, you could just throw a call buy on Apple, Facebook, Amazon, just S&P, obviously. Any of those type of stocks like that, especially in the tech sector, you could just bought it and just sat in it and made money. Qualcomm, of course, Qualcomm had earnings last night. Y'all saw what they did. That stock gapped up from 128 and ran up at the highs almost like 148 near 150 today. After having a big bang of a move, last night after our session, so the market was obviously in a very fruitful mindset. And the liquidity came in, y'all. I mean, we saw the melt ups, right? We saw the money. I mean, look at this. Look at the market from a place where, if you just go back, right? Let's go back, right? Look at this here. Look at that. That wasn't even the cup and the handle, right? This is just a cup, right? It's just a cup with no handle, like one of those styrofoam cups, right? You pour your little Kool-Aid in there. That's the type of cup this is right here. This was them saying, okay, bring it down, bring it down, bring it down, right? Let's get it pretty low going into the election, right? So we can do a rip your face off rally like, something seen that they ain't never. I mean, come on, seriously? They did this in a matter of how many days? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many days it took them to bring this thing down, though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It took them 14 days to what? To drop the bid, right? To drop the bid, because that's basically what they're doing. They're dropping the bid. Keep people trying to what? Raise the ask prices. They keep dropping the bid, lowering the the expectations of the market. That way, you obviously try to undercut it, right? Because that's how that happens, right? If the market keeps dropping, you tell yourself, well, if the market's gonna keep dropping, it's no need me trying to pay market value for this. Right? I'm not gonna pay market value for a market that's kind of keep dropping. I'll limit in at a much more lower price. You keep dropping the bid, guess what the market does? The market tries to go down and fill those bids. It's a lot of a computer algorithm that's driven, so it's trying to fill those low bids, and the lower you drop your bid, the more the market is gonna come down. On top of all the macro news as well, bad press releases, things that happening. Again, y'all saw it like I was. Things that happening around the market. As far as like geopolitical news that help also dagger the markets. The issues with the vaccines and that stuff all compounds. It all compounds the ideology of why people will sit here and watch things like this happen, and then they'll get to a point where you're like, man, this is just crazy, right? It's at this point here, we're at 322. Oh, I knew we were finna drop. I know we finna just, at this point we didn't drop this much, man. The bottom finna fall out the market, and we have an election getting ready to kick off. See how the market just baited a lot of people all at once. See how the banks baited a lot of people all at once. And then literally, Sunday futures market going into Monday pre-market, what did the market do? It went gangbusters. And every day from that point on, all this new money came out of nowhere. That's what you would say, right? You would say, well, where all this money came from all of a sudden? How are they able to buy the market up this kind of demonstrative value? And, just literally a week ago, it was just no volume. The market was plummeting. This, that, and the third. Well, here's why. Again, that's why we say we don't use emotion. We use logic, reason, technical, and fundamental vantage points of understanding how markets work. All you had to do is see all this this downtrending. All this downtrending, all this liquidity is being That's outflow. All that is outflow, right? That's them kind of like a pressure cooker, right? You kind of tap the top of the top, let it steam out, let a little bit more out, right? And eventually, you let all the steam out, right? Then you can open the lid, right? Check what the pot looking like, right? What that thing smell like on the inside, right? What it look like. After that, in comes what? It's time to eat. After that, it's time to eat. What did the market do? What did the market do? Clear as day here. Clear as day here. Aggressive market buying. Now, here's what's interesting. You can start seeing the volume, obviously, in this case, even in this case, like I said, the volume be more consistent with a lot of a lot of green. This day right here was just crazy, right? That day where was this one here? This one right here, the volume came in over here was crazy, right? It was crazy. Let me pull this over. This day right here, crazy. This was the telltale signal here. Remember, we talked about that. This was Friday before the bell ring. This was Friday before the bell ring, going into obviously this week for the election. Look at all this volume that came into the market. We sat there and saw it. We talked about it. It was the last 5 minutes before the market closed. We saw an inflow like none other. That was not by mistake. Those two volume bars right there, we talk about close to 14 million shares came into the market. Literally, somewhere within the last 15, 20 minutes in the market. 14 million shares of a $300 ticket. And that was just at the close, though. What I'm saying, at the close, right? We know the volume, or in terms of the S&P, typically reaches around about, on average, right? It does about 60 million to about 70 million, on any given day. You'll get that out of the spot, right? But there ain't near 14 to 20 million value of it came in the last 15, 20 minutes of the market. All of a sudden, all the volume came out of nowhere. That was them starting to front load. That was those, market makers, hedge funds, banks, whatever, starting to front load the market going into next week for the election. I mean, it was clear as day. We talked about it. It was like, man, this is crazy. But it didn't seem so crazy because we was like, well, hey, this is what the market is trying to do. It's trying to get back inside of the penalty box. We spoke about that on the technical charts. It was outside of the penalty box. Their goal was to get it back inside that linear regression band so they can what? They can play ball. They did that. The first day it got back inside that linear regression band, that's when people should have been saying, okay, well, that's what? I'm going to play ball with them. I'll play until they what? Until they what? Close the what? Park down. So you could have bought the call buy, you know, a 330 call buy, right? You could have bought a 335 or 332, any of those expiring on the 4th, obviously, which was the other day, right? And rode, that particular play in itself, which we know we was up near what, close to around about what, 338 yesterday. That call buy alone would have printed you nothing less than about $700-800 minimum. That would have been minimum. Of course, if you bought it right before Friday, then yeah, you'd have been up, man, like what, about $1,200-1,400 on that call buy. If you bought that far out, you'd have been up by about $1,200-1,400 on that call buy. That's the kind of stuff that I'd be like, I get excited because, like, man, we have to get get to that point when we say we read the tea leaves, right? We got to get really good at reading the tape, right? Reading the sentiment of the market, understanding the volume, inflow, outflow, right? Some of us know it as liquidity, right? Y'all see it here clear as day. Look at that volume. Before that, look at the volume. Before that, look at the volume. Look at the days ended out pretty much every day. Before that, at the close of the market was what? Dumping. Big red bars right there. Big red bars there. Right? That was the setup. Everything from that point on was all the feds and the big money people coming in and controlling the market. They gapped it up every single day. Every single day was a gap up. And here we are again, right? Here we go again, right? Right? About in that same that same kind of level of that same kind of energy. Where even though we had the Fed came out there and pretty much told you that they still going to be accommodated, right? They're going to keep interest rates pretty much at zero. Again, 0.24 is the interest rate at this point. We saw some news the other day that the 10-year yield is starting to drop again. Well, what's the significance of the 10-year yield dropping? It's just that what? That's because the inflationary aspect of people pumping all this money all of a sudden, it's kind of like when they have like it's like a cataclysm in a lot of ways, but like when you just stretch that rubber band for so far, right? Again, you pump it, and you don't have, in this case, of course, people still not necessarily working. You don't have enough money coming in to the system through working it off. Then that's why the yields obviously start acting a little funny, right? You just got all this, this accrued debt out there, but there's nobody working it off at this point. So yields start acting funny, right? People start, again, in this case, y'all know we've been talking about that before. Again, people shifting their bills around, right? They're not necessarily paying certain things over others. Of course, a lot of those debts are coming due, right? They're coming due. But, we are in the midst of a moratorium. We don't have to pay a lot of these bills because of the executive orders, but that doesn't necessarily mean that those bills are still not aggregating, right? They're still aggregating. They didn't do what they call a complete emancipation of the bills. They just did a moratorium, meaning you don't have to pay it. It's still going to accrue and multiply, right? But you don't have to pay it. So the more it begins to compound, that debt or the inflationary debt aspect of it is going to still show in the treasury yields, right? The yield still has to count day for day. It don't take a day off. That's not how the government works, especially the Treasury Department. It still has to count for all that debt, accrued debt. Well, whether or not people defaulted or not, of course, they haven't defaulted if they still have the moratorium aspect over their scenario, but the debt still got to get counted one way or the other. So there's no getting around that, right? There's no getting around that, right? And so, again, that's why that stuff is important. But nonetheless, the markets are like any other kind of instrument out there, obviously, that produces people the opportunity to make money. It's saying, hey, we get it, we understand it, but guess what? At some point, regardless who gets elected, because at this point, the one thing that we got in our favor, I'm speaking kind of in tandem to the market. The one thing that the market was able to kind of ID in this election thus far is the fact that, guess what? The Senate remained unchanged. The Senate remained unchanged. What's the importance of that? What's the significance of the Senate remaining unchanged? That means any kind of policy that's radical, of course, in their mind, Wall Street mind, when it comes to the, again, increase of capital gain tax that Joe Biden obviously put forth that he's looking to do, this wealthy taxation plan that he's trying to put forth, tax anybody over 400,000, whatever, all those things still gonna come with some kind of level of roadblock, some gridlock, some filibuster energy behind it, right? Because y'all know Mitch McConnell gonna be what? Right there with that stop sign. Hold up, buddy. Hold up, buddy. Hold up, buddy. Right? Y'all know, I already know how you get down. And so that gives Wall Street some kind of semblance of what? Relief in their mind. Now, what's also interesting, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the macro data because y'all know I like to follow these little nerd stats, but on average, historically, on average, right? On average, right? Wall Street has always done significantly a lot better under Democratic president. Not making this up. Not making this up. Wall Street typically always performs better under a Democratic president. Now, ask yourself this. Why was Wall Street so scared of a Joe Biden election? Why was the market taking the tone as if they would be scared or skittish of a Joe Biden presidency, right? You know why, right? Because Trump put out that energy that if he does not get reelected, the stock market is going to crash. As if any time in history when the market didn't crash, people just stopped buying the market after that point on. Like, when has that ever happened? Right? Y'all know that's not how this stuff works. People can't wait to buy when markets crash because you get things cheaper. You get things cheaper. Right? So let me run to that footage real quick. Let me show you some of that data. Right? Thank you for reminding me there, Oprah Chris. Right? Teamwork, right? Teamwork. Let me show y'all this. I got to show y'all this, right? So that way we won't be confused because y'all know how we do over here. We don't play the radio over here. Right? We're going to bring data out. We're going to bring some receipts out. We're going to bring some invoices out. We're going to bring anything we need to get people, well equipped, right? To keep people well informed, right? Right? Can y'all see that there clearly? Let me see if I can blow it up a little bit here. I'm going to blow that thing on up there a little bit. I guess let me blow it up, right? But look at this here. Democratic presidents going back, right, to Franklin D. Roosevelt, right? 1933, 1945. The Dow went up 194%. S&P 141, 141%. Harry S. Truman, 1945, 1953, 82%. Meaning that's in that time span, that tenure, that's how much the Dow went up. So from 45 to 53, 82%, S&P 85. Right? John Kennedy, right? Before he got assassinated, right? 2 years. 2 years. Only two years, the market was up 16%. The Dow. The S&P was up 20. True story. Right? He did that in 2 years. Now, that's significant because I'm going to talk about that a little later. But nonetheless, I'm just showing you. 2 years. Right? Lyndon B. Johnson, right? 1963 to 1969, 3-year aspect. In that case, 28%, 42%. Jimmy Carter, 0.24% on the Dow, right? That Dow was what? Struggling, right? That was on the back end of all that, the Vietnam, all that kind of stuff like that. Back end of all that stuff, them debts started coming due, and the Iran country, was that Iran country? What was that under Jimmy Carter? That was the what was that they were dealing with during that time frame? It's on the tip of my tongue, so I know it. It'll come to me, whatever. But the S&P was up 29%. The S&P was up 29%. Bill Clinton, forget about it. Y'all know Bill Clinton had the biggest economy ever. In U.S. history, Bill Clinton had the biggest economy ever, meaning a surplus. That was one of the few times ever that America was actually in a surplus. our debt to equity GDP ratio was balanced in a way where we had more money than we had particular debt, that we couldn't necessarily pay for. It was the greatest economy America has ever seen under a sitting president. The Dow went up 225%. 225%. S&P went up 209%. Fast forward, Barack Obama just left. Remember, everybody like, Trump kept touting that, well, I done way better than Barack. I did way better than Barack. Of course, y'all know he just had a fetish for Barack. Of course, that don't mean I have I don't like Barack like that, right? For other reasons, but he got inherited a very dusty economy, because again, y'all know what happened with Bush, right? We was in war status, right? A lot of debt out there, trillions of dollars in debt from that war. Hence, that's why they got into quantitative easing, right? QE3, right? Ben Bernanke, right? The gang, the Fed gang. Ben Bernanke came in and unloaded that printing press. He unloaded the printing press. I think Jerome Powell trying to aspire to be just like Ben Bernanke. I think that's his idol. Be honest. I think Janet Yellen and Jerome Powell aspired to be like Ben Bernanke. Ben Bernanke was a gangster with it. They kept bringing him back and forth Congress so many times. Like, man, what are you doing? It's like, man, I'm trying to just take care of the economy. But by doing so, though, we're going to print a lot of money. And they printed a lot of money. True story. But again, Barack put up 138% on the Dow, 166% on the S&P. That was 8 years. You could do the division on that and see how much he put up on it, per what? Annual basis, annual basis, that is. So that average, in itself, roughly close to about dang near 100 years, the Democrats put up 97% in the Dow and 99% in the S&P. Look at the Republicans down here, right? People don't want to see this data. They don't want to deal with this data, right? They don't want to deal with this data, right? They're going to talk a good game when it comes to everything else, but when you bring out them receipts, Joker get quiet, boy. And that don't mean this. I'm not saying I'm a Democrat, because y'all know I'm neither that. I don't do gangs, right? I don't do gangs, right? I'm neither Republican nor Democrat. I'm just going strictly by the data. As an investor, my emotions are out the window. I don't have emotions at this. I'm trying to better position my money to make money, right? I'm trying to better position my money to make money. It's not about emotions. It's about getting paid, right? It's about using their greed as an advantage point for me to latch onto it and get my piece of the pie too, because they have no chill when it comes to their greed. None. So why should I be sitting there worried about it? Right? I got the ability like anybody else that has an ability to get my portion of it too. That's sitting home, that have no job, that's dealing with all this. That's it. Family A1 100 DB, the oil embargo. Exactly what it was, right? It had issues with Cuba and all that stuff as well. It was just a mess, right? Right? But seriously, if you look at that from again, we talking about data points, right? Statistical data points, right? Let me blow that up a little bit, because I know it's probably smaller on you guys' side. I'm sorry about that. All right. But seriously, look at that. Look at the chart. Look at the data. The data is saying what? Republicans have always been lacking when it came to the overall aspect of the market growth underneath them. Because we understand that Democrats by trade are more liberal minded. They're about somewhat, big government, right? Again, spending a lot of money for the common good of everybody, because somewhat like they say that the air of they call it socialism in a lot of ways at this point these days, but I'm like, they just trying to take care of the people that pay taxes. And people who got a lot of money don't like that, because they don't want you to be equal to that of what they got, right? What they've been able to finagle away from the markets, finagle away from the economy, steal through taxes and not paying taxes. Again, of course, y'all know, like I said before, Jeff Bezos skipped a $20 billion tax bill under Trump's plan. $20 billion tax plan, a bill that he skipped on. Skipped town on it. Do you think he was up night, late at night, turning in bed, thinking about, man, I don't feel good about not paying my fair share of tax? Do y'all think Jeff Bezos was thinking about that when he was sleeping that night? Or was he like, getting paid? Young blood, getting paid. Come on, let's be honest here. That happened under a Republican president. All the big wealth heists of America always happen underneath for what? Republican president. Not my word. I'm just going by the data. They have a way of what? Getting richer when these moments happen. That's why most of the wars that kick off are typically, in essence, underneath of what? Republican president. They understand that's a playbook of theirs. Cause the chaos, start a war, fleece the American people of what? Taxes. And then what? All this money start coming into the market, the free money out of the printing press, treasury, national debt go up, right? The Fed balance sheet start to rise, and guess what? Big money come in and just make a killing off all that. Average Americans walk around like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's hard times. That's the hustle. So Republican, Herbert Hoover, negative 83%, 1929 1933. Right after he left, Franklin D. Roosevelt took that thing and ran it. He had a negative 83 on the Dow, a negative 77 on S&P. Dwight Eisenhower, obviously he had to bang out what? Time, right? We're talking about 1953, 1961. Y'all know what was going on during that time in America. Bang out time, 120% on the Dow, 130 on the what? S&P. Richard Nixon, we know what's going on there. We ain't got to talk about it, right? Right? We ain't got to talk about that. We know what went on with Richard Nixon, right? Right? What they call Tricky Dick. They call him Tricky Dick, right? Freaky Richard Nixon, negative 17%, negative 21 on the S&P, right? Gerald Ford, 25% on the Dow, 28 on the S&P. Ronald Reagan, right? Ronald Reagan, what? Y'all know the Reaganomics, right? This whole issue with Reaganomics, right? That's when the bank really found their what? Their puppet. Reagan was no more than a puppet. I mean, we did a documentary exposing Ronald Reagan. How they used Reagan, right? How Goldman Sachs, Merrill Lynch, and a few other big banks out there use Ronald Reagan as just a front man so they can get into the market, take some particular key pointed roles in his cabinet so they can what? Funnel a lot of money out of the American economy into their pockets. True story, not making it up. Not making it up. That was one of the most demonstrative times when they had matter of fact, an old executive, I think it was Merrill Lynch or Goldman Sachs that was actually the head of the Treasury Department underneath what? Ronald Reagan. Pretty much a day trader was sitting at the Treasury Department making decisions with taxpayers' money. True story. True story. Might want to look into that, right? Might want to look into that, right? Y'all might want to look into that. Right. But again, I'm just saying, so understanding how this stuff works, right? How they been able to make these kind of moves. And this is what they do, right? George Bush, right? The first Bush, right? George first, right? George the first. 45%, right? 52% on the S&P, right? George the second, forget about it. Crashed everything. Clinton left him an economy with a 225% Dow, a 209% S&P. Man, look. Couldn't make this stuff up. George II got that kind of economy. He got the keys to the station wagon and drove it to the dirt. A 225% Dow, a 209% S&P, he drove it into the dirt. To the tune where he went negative. He went negative. Couldn't make this stuff up. And here's your boy right here. Here's your boy right here, Donald J. Trump. 39% on the Dow, 47% on the what? S&P. Those numbers obviously can fluctuate a little bit here on the last little few days he got left. If that's the case, if he don't get, win a re-election, it's standing to be that there's going to be plus minus ratio of maybe about a couple percentage points here and there, up or down, maybe 2 or 3 percentage points up or down. Now, the staggering number again, look at their average. Look at their average. Republican presidents put out an average over the past dang near 100 years of a 30% on the Dow and a 30% on the S&P. Now, I don't know, if my math is bad or whatever, but last I checked, 97%, right, is a long way from 30%. It's a long way from 30%. So could it just be that Wall Street Could it just be that Wall Street is smarter than the average cookie, right? Could it be they're just smarter than the average person that don't take the time to understand the macro data, that knows how to really look and figure out what's going on? And in essence, where they start to front load the market when they felt like their guy, because keep in mind, Wall Street had already came out a week in advance and told everybody that they was what? Betting on who? They was betting on Joe Biden. Right? They was betting on Joe Biden. Wall Street came out and made that very apparent almost like a month ago. They did not waste no time doing that. Right? Look down my description box, guys. Check my description box. Look down in my description box. Right? Right? Look down in my description box down there. Right? You know what's going on. Right? We know how they've pretty much, made it very clear. Right? Markets rally as investors keep betting investors. Who are the investors they're talking about? Right? Look down in my description box. Look down there. Look down under my current events down there. What do you see? What do you see down there? You see what? Markets rallied as investors keep betting on Joe Biden. Right? Is poised to be named what? President of the United States. The markets already was putting that into motion almost a month ago. And so all that time that they use, right? All that time that they use was more so them doing what? Right? That was them doing what? Front loading the opportunity. So they said, guess what? We're going to drop the bid of the market. We're going to lower the bid. I just went over that with you guys, right? How they do that, right? That's a methodical move that Wall Street uses a lot. They drop the bid. They dropped the bid of the markets, right? Lowered it to the point where you had to kind of what? Not try to what? Come in on market orders. You had to kind of keep limiting down. You limit down your orders to make sure you get in a little lower because you didn't want to get what? Buy in too high. And eventually the market kept doing what? Dropping lower right along with it. To the point, they got it to a point where they say, you know what? Here's our bottom, right? And what makes it even so much of a given, they took it all the way to the what? The last day of the month of October. The last day in the month of October. They took it all the way to the very last day. And then literally in the last hour of the market, they did what? Turned it. Last 15 minutes of the market, they turned it. Couldn't make this stuff up. Little quick. Let's run to the charts real quick. Right? Let's run over to the charts really quick here. Right? I don't have a lot of time today a little bit, but I'm going to try to come back on a little bit later too. Look right here. Remember, we spoke about this already. Of course, y'all, some of you guys may not have seen that episode or not, but this is your inverse head and shoulders. This is your 200-day moving average on the daily chart here. What do you see? Again, remember I talked about they walked the market down? They walked the market down all the way from the middle of October, October 12th to be exact. They walked it down all the way. Look at this here. Walked it down. Look at this, like the trend line here. Walked it all the way down. Broke your 20-day moving average. Didn't waste no time sitting there playing around trying to ping back above it. They just said, nope, go on and send it lower. Of course, there are a lot of things that were going on too to make it worse because people kept getting in their way. In terms of these people, these elected officials and all that, they made it worse. They compounded it. And then the market just dumped on itself at that point. Just really went down to the lows. You had 1 day of retracement, obviously giving the market give a chance to kind of, catch its breath. And then right back down the following day. Again, the last day in the month, October 30th, right? We hit that low around about 322.50, somewhere around 322.60, somewhere around there. And then right after that, the gap up the next day, going into what? The first day of November, right? A new month. Shining. Look at this. Shining right there. Big old doji sitting there. After they gapped up from 322, it gapped up here to roughly around about 330. So you was already up about 7-8 points off that gap up. If you bought calls right before the bell Friday, you was already 7-8 points ahead of the game on that gap up. Of course, like I said, if you bought the 335 to 330 calls that was expiring on Wednesday, you was already up again. We talking about, man, $1,300 in profit. Somewhere around there, between $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 worth of profit. Couldn't make this stuff up. Of course, and then the next day, Tuesday, another banger day. Went all the way up to 338. You held all the way up there, man. You talking about $1,800, $1,900 worth of profit, somewhere around there? If you'd have held it until yesterday, the expiring contract date, of course, that would have turned into what? It went all the way to highs what? Up to 348. You're talking about a minimum. You would have made a minimum of about $2,700 on one call buy. About $2,700. Had you bought two, like me, I try to buy two or three sometime every now and then. I buy two or three. Of course, you do the math on that, right? That's three times based around about 3,000 almost. Now the cost basis to get in that, the premium, we was talking about no more than maybe about what, $200 somewhere around there, give or take, $100 and change, $200 and change to buy in, but you would have walked away with around about what, near $9,000, give or take. That kind of money. Look at the volume. The volume right here ain't lying. Look at all the red before that. Preceded. We talked about this. I'm not making this up. That's why we go with this stuff. Look at all that red volume that preceded this move. It was just dumping. They walked the market down. They lowered the bid. They made people lower their bids. You lower the bid, the market follows those bids. This is not rocket science, guys. Right after that, the green volume came in. Clear as day, we've been seeing that, after the first day or two, you should say, okay, they're increasing the volume. That means these people finna run this market. But they had people so fixated on trying to read the election. You was worried about Trump and Biden. Wall Street was like, let me get paid. Right? Wall Street was like, let me get paid. And that's basically what they did. They got paid. And they still got the market propped up here after hours. Why? Why didn't the market drop? People said the market was going to drop Tuesday. They said the market was going to drop yesterday. And they definitely said the market was going to drop today. But the market did not. Now, what's interesting about the chart here? Look over here. We're right back in the congestion zone up here now. We got above the 28 moving average. We spoke about that, meaning the market had to get above that to make it bullish. If we make it to the mean line of the linear regression band, and we close above it, that makes it even more bullish. Of course, it closed above it because it gapped up above it, right? And they actually didn't bring it below it today, which was a signal that they're trying to keep it in a bullish trend. Don't fight the trend. I'm just reading the tape. Look right here. Look at this congestion right here. Right? Look at the congestion right here. These two little candles right here, they dead man walking. Unless something crazy happens tonight, with this election stuff, those two candles right there, dead man walking, meaning they're going to get overtaken tonight. But we need something crazy to happen. Now, if something crazy, then of course they can drop the market. They can easily drop the market because we know it's over, it's extended. We know it's extended. But do you think Wall Street cares? That's the $1 million question. Do you think Wall Street cares? Right? Do y'all think Wall Street cares? I mean, look at the chart, clear as day. I see congestion that needs to be taken out, or liquidity. It has to be now reaffirmed and coming back and taken out. Because all those areas right there were what? That's new money, meaning all that money that got that came in the form of an outflow. Now it's coming back in the inflow. It's taking out anybody that was still sitting up there, bailing them out, so to speak, like a bailout, right? It's like a bailout. Now let's go a little further. Here's where it gets interesting, because now I'm basically going to give y'all a price target. Not that you can't see it for yourself, but I got to go ahead and say it because I know how this stuff works. Your price target is clear as day. Remember this little candle right here? See this little green candle right here? See how it's somewhat in the same line. It's in the same line as the ones I was just sitting there talking about. They're saying that they're going to get taken out, right? I mean, they ain't got no dog in the fight if they lose this war. If those two candles right there and this candle here get taken out, what's the next candle in line? What is the next candle in line if these two candles get taken out and this candle get taken out? What's the next one? It's clear as day, obviously, right? This one right here. Your price target is already defined. Do y'all think Wall Street don't see that? That they're going to try for it. Not that it may be, I'm not saying they're going to be successful. Y'all know this is speculative business, but all we have to do is what? Analyze, make good, rash decisions. We spoke about all this right here already. We did that Friday. We talked about all this Friday. Then we talked about it again on what Monday? I think I went live, Monday? Definitely on election night. I talked about it again. These are the levels you want to watch, right? Because if they keep gapping it, if they keep running it, if it gets above here, it's even more bullish. This thing that did everything I pretty much spoke about. Now, look right here. This candle right here. What do you see right there? Right? The top of that candle right there basically sits at what? Matter of fact, let me take it all the way over here. That way you have, a visual. Right? You're talking about what? 356, give or take. Right? About 356 at that point. Could it be that they're going to try to gap it up and tap that what? Clear out that last little bar right there. If they clear that 356 during the intraday, if for the fifth, we all be drunk. If they clear that 356 tomorrow, these are all hypotheticals, of course, guys. I'm not saying go buy the market up and expect that. I'm just saying this is what Wall Street might be trying to accomplish because it ain't sold off yet, and they've been gapping the market up every night. And they got some in their favor, like I spoke about earlier. What's the one thing that Wall Street has in their favor right now? They have uncertainty. Wall Street feeds off uncertainty. It's called climbing the wall of worry. When people are worried, Wall Street, that's when they get to making money. They don't know no other way. They don't know no other way. Don't try to convince them different. Don't try to say that you doing it like this. Why y'all doing this? They don't care about none of that. All they care about how can we inflow the money. They already feel like They already that the market is still cheap. They wake up every day saying, man, the market's still cheap. Why wouldn't they think that? After having such an accommodative Fed over the past 2 years, basically, a very accommodative Fed, 3 years to be exact, these people can care less. They're just trying to get paid. And soon as we start realizing that too, remove our emotions from the equation, stop trying to play Republican and Democrat, and play moneycrat, right? That's a new party. Matter of fact, let me type that in the back chat. Matter of fact, our new party that we're a part of, this is the party that we're a part of. Right, I'm starting a new political party. It's called the Moneycrat. Right, we the Moneycrats. Right, throw an S on there, make it plural. True story. Our new political party is called the Moneycrats. T-shirt moment. Right, T-shirt moment. Right. Sorry about that. So the banner. Yeah, that's that stream, y'all. It's 336 though. 336 is potentially, I should say, the target. That 356 that Wall Street might be trying to go take out. If not doing the future market tonight, maybe tomorrow. It's all hypothetical though. Because a lot of things have to line up, right? They need to still have enough uncertainty tomorrow. Meaning throughout the entire night. Right? Nothing crazy has to happen on that front. Right? And then just maybe, they may try to make that move. We'll see, though. We already hit all the other targets. We hit every other target that we kind of talked about, previously over the last 3-4 days. We hit those targets already. Because it was clear that we was outside of the penalty box, right? That's why I said, when we get outside the penalty box, what do Wall Street do? Get back inside that penalty box, right? That's like you playing hockey, right? Somebody, what they call a hat trick, what they call it, when they check you, when they crash into you into the wall, right? They crash. Then crashes through a joke in the wall, you flipped over the wall. Mark's like, man, the coach like, man, get back out there on that field. And that's basically what Wall Street did. They got back in the field of play. Clear as day. Look at the gap up. They gapped up inside the band. They didn't gap up outside the band and climb inside the band. They gapped up inside of the band here. And then they went on their marching spree. So the Fed came out today and did what? Dovish tone, as always. We knew he was going to be dovish, right? He don't want to do nothing to disturb the markets at this point. With the election already hanging over everybody's head, he just came out and said what he was supposed to say. He read the script. He answered the questions as gingerly as he could, right? Very gingerly, right? And here we go. The market didn't dump. It did not dump on his commentary. And if it was to try to, guess what? Somebody was going to try to buy the dip. These people greedy. They are vultures with fangs. Right? If there ever such a thing, somebody could draw a cartoon, that's what the Wall Street would be. Wall Street would be vultures with fangs. A hybrid snake, and all that in one. So again, this is our candle here. This is our what? This is what we're gonna be watching for tomorrow, especially tonight in the futures market. Of course, I know I am, but I would definitely reckon that you guys watch this candle right here, right? Watch this guy right here, right? Because that right there might be, that might be very important. That might, narrow it down a little bit. There's like stretch it out a little bit there, right? This one here might be very important, right? Because if was a fifth and they had their way, they would take out the rest of that liquidity in this candle right here tomorrow. If not tonight, then the futures market. Because they might just be dirty. They might take it out this evening if it gets that good. They might try to play safe though. But if they get real dirty, they might take it out tonight and then come pre-market, into the bell. They might what? They might close out their money and leave you, fending for the scraps, right? Right? Or the market might just turn around and dump, whatever. But I'm just putting all these different variables out there, scenarios, so that that way you guys can be equipped, right? That way you guys can be equipped, right? But again, this is why we study, right? Look, how that little song goes in young folk. This is why we hot. Yeah, this is why we hot. Yeah. The idea of the stimulus check is off the table. Why is the market rallying? The idea of the stimulus check been off the table. End of last week, we knew that it was off the table. Matter of fact, last week, the week before that too, it was kind of obvious that they weren't gonna cut no deal. Everybody had knew it. Mitch McConnell had been through his hands up. The rest was just what? Window dressing. Trump kicking the can. He could do no more at this point. They already kind of sealed this fate for him. It's like, bro, you ain't got no more power now. You too close to the election. Your power is running out, bro. You got what? Hey, the rest is at the ballot. So the stimulus check didn't stop the market, right? Stimulus check didn't stop the market from going up. Your bills ain't stopped. Your grocery bill ain't stopped. You having ample good health care didn't stop. The rent that's still due from month to month, it ain't stopped. It's getting ready to kick in your door. And then people had a $1,200 check that's owed to you hostage. They had that $1,200 check hanging over your head, hostage. They used you. People hate to admit when they've been used to do. Well, that's basically what the market did. It used us. Well, when I say used, it's used people who were sitting there waiting on it because we were like, man, okay, yeah, y'all play that game all you want. I'm still gonna get paid. I had to drink some tea on that, sip some tea on that one. Well, in this case, I drink some green, kale and apple juice. Right? Yeah, I'm with you, brother Snotball. I need that 12 too. I'm with you. And I'm saying that because I know people need it. I'm just saying if I get it, I'm gonna put it in the stock market. Right? Free money, my money anyway. That's how I look at it. My money anyway. Right? The first one I got and went in the stock market. The second one I'm gonna get, if they give it, I'm gonna put in the stock market again. Now, I know people that turned that $1,200 into over 5 figures. True story. I know people who turned that $1,200 into 5 figures. Not making it up. And I'm like, what was y'all doing with y'all's? Well, I went and bought some purses. I bought some shoes. I bought a new dress. I went, I ate out at DoorDash every day of the week. I did all that. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, about that. Yeah. Right? So again, y'all know as well, I know the slap in the face is disrespect for them to feel like $1,200 is enough to carry your life. Some of you guys got one bill alone that's worth $1,200, right? Like one bill alone eats up that $1,200. What about the other bills? Again, utilities, grocery, healthcare, rent, daycare. People got kids and all that stuff. Man, look, insurance, if that came due. I'm like, man, I ain't finna sit and play this game, man. Y'all playing games, man. So guess what we kept saying the whole time? Come hang out with us. Come hang out with us. We finna find a way to get this money. We're gonna find a way to get this bag. We're gonna find a way to stay alive. right? They ain't gonna stop our grind. Come hang out with us. Some people did. Some people say, I ain't ready yet. Of course, I get it. When people are ready, they'll come. Of course, we humble over here. We're a humble crew, right? We don't move on pride. We move on what? Opportunity. Right? We do not move off pride over here. We move off opportunity. How can we help each other get some money? We don't own the stock market. We do not own the stock market. This is not a competition between me and you. It's a competition between me and this market. When I fire my computer up in the morning or cut on my cell phone, tablet, I'm looking at the market with my eyes, with my brain, right? It's a one-man show. So, of course, that in itself is a liberating aspect, too, because they can't bar you from it. And you have just as much as a right as a Warren Buffett, a Paul Tudor Jones, right? A David Tepper, Leon Cooperman, Ray Dalio, any of those big, Shamat Palabhapatia, all them, any of them big guys like that, Muhammad Al-Saharian, all them guys that's out there making a lot of money, you got just as much a chance as they do. Now, your money may not be aggregate value in terms of theirs, but guess what? We just sat there and showed you how you just could have made your easy little $2,800 a little bag with about a couple $100, if that. Had you had the mindset to learn how to read those charts and look at how to position yourself for an anomaly of a market in the case that it presented itself the way that it did with this inflow coming in after the market was outside the penalty box and turned a litigation ban, all you had to do is just buy the dip. Make them make you out to be a liar, because you ain't finna tell me that Wall Street finna sit there and just let their market go to what? Go to so-called, in this quote, in this case, hell. Because they had pretty much told you a month ago they were already pricing in a President Biden for president. Vice president. I said president, but the ex-vice president for president at that time. They had already wrote that check there, man, look at the data. What did the data say? The data says Republicans typically, their conservative value, of course, it helps in certain aspects of the market, but ultimately, we do better under the Democratic president. Okay, what you think about that, Bob? Well, you right, Steve. Okay, let's do this. Let's lower the bid on the market. Let's bring the market down at a great area where we can get in at the very bottom, enough to the point where everybody don't run, and then what? Let's run it higher. Let's ramp it, right? And boy, did they. Biscuit Wheels, Gravy Valley. Man, I need a gift for that one. I got to make a gift where I can have that mean. I got to have somebody with some biscuit wheels, right, on any kind of car, okay, what is a hoop there, whatever, ride through Gravy Valley with dollar sign flying out the tailpipe, right, with a laser hanging out the window with a laser, with souping up that great. But no, but seriously, look at the market. Look at the money. Look at all this money right here. That's a straight line up. That's not even a 45-degree angle. That's almost like a what? I don't know what that is. 72, right? Man. Right? But of course, we understand what's going on. So of course, that's the area we're gonna be watching. That candle right here, right? It's either gonna barbecue a mildew with this candle. Now, I'm not saying it because guess what? It's either gonna take out this candle or it's gonna what? Dump inside this candle. What's the bottom of the candle? The bottom of this candle sits at right around about what? Let me pull this down a little bit lower. Let me show you right here. Y'all got to see this here. Of course, this is what technical people do, right? We look for what? For opportunity, right? We look for all our areas of opportunities, our variables. We put everything on the table. The bottom of this candle sits right at around about 342.64, give or take, right? Give or take. Right, so we'll just go ahead and say, for the sake of the conversation, around about 342.50, right? 342.50. So it's either going to take out the high of 356, or it's going to kind of what? Dump tomorrow all the way back down to around about 342. If that happens to don't hold tomorrow, if that's the case, of course, if it don't hold tomorrow, then guess what? It can easily come take out the rest of those what? Not just that candle, but all these ones here on the way back down. Right? All these ones right here on the way back down. Of course, that's to meet what the candle's at this point, 343.50 here. Right? Sitting at the linear regression band, the 20 moving average sitting at around about 340. Right? If it take out this candle here, right? Of course, you already see the gap down here. These are around about 335. These are all hypotheticals, though. Just prepare for it one way or the other if you're going to trade it. All right, one way or the other, if you're going to trade it. Right. So again, I just want to work on the broader market theory for that for tonight, or the thesis, therefore, so that way we know, because that's the only thing that's going to be determining what we look at, for us tomorrow. Everybody gonna be looking at the SPY or the QQQs, right? I saw some call buying still coming in today for the QQQs and the SPY. Go to bar chart. Y'all know that's one of our go-to places. Go check out the volume. Go see what people are buying. Right? Go see how they feeling, so to speak. Right? How you feeling? How you feeling? What? How you feeling? What? In living color. Right? Joker feeling good about themselves, man. They made some good money. I got me a couple of bags here. I know I ain't been posting a lot of it lately. I've been busy, right? But y'all know, I come around every day. I post a little something. Right? Do a little something, a little strange for a piece chain. I post it. But of course, hey, most time I'm working regardless anyway. But a lot of people feeling good this week. All right. Matter of fact, I shot a movie for it. Y'all want to see that movie I shot for it? Joker feeling like this right now. All right, Joker's right now in their breaking mode right now, boy. They feeling really good about themselves right now. Right? Joker feeling really good about themselves right now. They're in their breaking mode right now. Y'all, some of y'all ain't old enough to know about that movie right there, right? That movie right there before y'all time right there, right? That's when we had that real deal back in the days, right? Right? That's when, Joker had some talent. Now Joker ain't got nothing, but they don't do nothing but sit around and just, I don't know, look at each other, I guess. I don't know. No, but serious though, a lot of people, benefited really good this week. They benefited really good off the market, right? And rightfully so, right? Rightfully so. Because all you have to do is just follow the tea leaves, right? So again, I mean, as Trump might be right. We might get ready to round the corner. We might be rounding the corner now, rounding the corner in terms of where this election might be getting ready to go on. You're right. We're rounding the corner on this election at this point. We are rounding that corner now. And whatever happens, don't be distracted. Trump, distracted by them votes, right? Wall Street is not distracted, right? Wall Street is not distracted. Trump, he's sitting there worrying about them ballots and all that. He looking at them ballots like chocolate cake, right? He's so distracted he can't focus on trying to really do what he need to do, right? He focusing on chocolate cake, right? Them ballots. And Wall Street focused on how to get that money, right? What y'all know about turbo and ozone? What you know about turbo and ozone? Y'all know about turbo and ozone, right? Let me move on, Doc. No, but seriously, so that's what you have to realize. You guys got to understand, right? Stay focused on the money. Stay focused on following the money. I'm always saying follow the money. Don't get caught up in these conversations with people trying to argue with you about a Kamala Harris. I don't care about no Kamala Harris. I don't care about no Joe Biden. I don't care about no President Trump, Mike Pence. I don't care about none of them charlatans. All of them charlatans to me, period. In the discussion, roll credits. Every last one of them. I just look at people when they sitting there trying to fight. They going fisticuffs about two grown, dusty people, meaning in president, you sitting there trying to, fight somebody about, your little so-called party. I'm sitting there looking at both of y'all like, I'm sitting there looking at y'all like, I be what? Are y'all kidding me? Right? That's me looking out the door, looking at y'all like, look at these idiots here. They ain't learned yet how to get money for the government and stop putting all that power in the hand of another grown person. You got just as much power to will your life to exist the way you want to as well. If you get serious about learning how to get money. So we're just using the tools and things that are provided for us that they keep secret for a reason, right? They don't want to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it over here, right? We're going to go in on it. Right, so y'all keep fighting out in the streets. Y'all keep talking about all the other stuff that's, that the trivial things and arguing about, how many stars in the sky, all that stuff, and your cupboard empty, your refrigerator empty, your kids mad and angry, your wife looking at you all crazy, or your husband looking at you crazy, right? You keep worrying about all those things like that, we're going to be over here finding a way to get this bag. And so when we get that bag and we get paid and we go buy us a new suit, we're going to stand right in the doorway, just like this guy right here looking at y'all like, look at this here. Look at them jokers out there act like little crazy people. Well, I'll be dang on. Right? They're going to learn today. Right? They're going to learn today. But that's it, though. But that's why we study, right? That's why we study. That's why we take our scenario serious. We will not be denied, guys. We will not be denied. Again, what's our new political party? Again, I just made this one up on the fly, but I'm going to run with it. I'm going to run with it. Right? This is our new political party. Right? Our new political party is called what? Right? What's our new political party, guys? It's T-shirt moment too. I need to go throw that on the T-shirt, right? From this point on, right, we're going to be called the Money Crats, right? We're going to be called the Money Crats. I know Floyd Mayweather got what what they call the money team, and everybody be using that too. Everybody be piggybacking off that. I don't want to I don't want to call myself the money team. I'm good with that. Y'all keep that. I'm gonna call myself the Money Crats, right? I want to be a part of a party. I don't want to be a part of a small little team. I want to be a part of a party, right? A party is bigger than a team. Last I checked, right? Last I checked, a party in itself is bigger than a team, right? So we're gonna be called the Money Crats, right? Right? Even that's it. Throw a dollar sign on the end of that thing. Make it fancy. That's what I'm talking about, right? Because when you're walking around with that mindset, you're gonna know exactly what that entails and what it means and what you need to do to make sure you stay in that position to win, right? So it's important that we realize that, guys, right? Don't let nobody move you off your square. Don't let nobody persuade you that you ain't doing, what you need to be doing to handle your business in the proper way, where you never have to worry about nobody ever again when it comes to finding a way to get you some money. Because again, I always say this here, and I said this from day one. Man, they didn't mess around and let us in the door. They didn't mess around and let us in the door. They let us in the door. They've been hiding this from us for a long time. Of course, it's been in plain sight. When I say they've been hiding this, that they haven't taken the chance to educate you properly on it, right? It's the same way they removed civics from school. Y'all notice that? They removed the course of civics from grade school. Why would they remove civics from grade school? Why would they not educate you on the whole political process and how this stuff worked? Why would they remove that? It's the same reason why they made the course economics an election, right? Alexa, right? So you get a chance to choose, right? Like, why would you have to? That should be prerequisite. You should already be like, man, look, I might want to have economics in middle school. I need to have it again in high school, right? I need to even have it in elementary school, right? This is the hustle. So a nation that's not excited about educating its citizens on how to be well trained and figuring out how to ways to sustain itself economically is a nation that's bound to fail. It's bound to fail. And people ain't figured that out yet. I'm sorry, guys. I think I messed up my mic. Yeah. I'm sitting there talking and mic then went out. I'll just say, at some point, we got to find a way to find our own way, right? At some point, we got to find a way to make our own way. Right? Again, like I said, if you grown, if you moving under the mandate that you grown, then you need to be thinking like a grown person. Grown people don't like answering to other grown people. Not in that perspective, right? When you need to make your own money, right? You need to find a way to make your own money. That's power and profit, right? So again, that's what we're gonna work on. That's what we're gonna stay humble to. We're gonna stay hungry. We're gonna stay studying. We're gonna stay grinding. We're gonna stay plugging. We're gonna stay doing all the things that's necessary for us to be in a position to win. From that, then and only then, right? We can share this with other people, right? We can get everybody else excited about the opportunities that are afforded to them as well, and we'll move people into a position where they can also have such such a skill set they don't have to worry about nobody else on, right? The goal is to use it. The goal is to use it. The goal is to use it, right? Can y'all hear me? Can you guys hear me? Is my volume still out? Oh man, I messed up my volume. Let me see here. Let me see here. Man. You guys hear me? Mic check, mic check. Okay, sorry guys. I thought I messed it up, man. Hit my then I'm gonna hit my dog on YouTube known for tearing me up. Y'all know they don't mind hit me with all kind of fines and suspensions and man, same with Facebook. I can't even share a post on my page no more. It's so bad on Facebook, I can't even share a post about financial literacy. I tried to share a post, about I'm getting ready to go live about some financial literacy stuff. Man, they banned that junk. As soon as I hit the enter button, I saw a saying pop up, you've been banned for about 3-4 days. I was like, what? I'm posting stuff about financial literacy. People posting stuff about ratchet stuff, and they banning me for posting something about financial literacy. I said, you know what? I love it. I said, you know what? If they that busy trying to stop somebody from being educated about some information that will help them get some money, then so be it. Right? So be it. Right? But nonetheless, that doesn't stop us because we're going to keep using our brain, right? Right? As you see on the screen, use it. Use it. Use it or lose it. Because you're going to lose it if you can't find out how to what? Feed yourself. Times get rough and you can't make ends meet and you warring with your spouse or your children, whatever, you're going to lose it. Mentally, you're going to lose it. So you better use it now. Better use it now. Use your mind now so you don't have to worry about having an issue later on and losing it. Simple as that. Right. So again, that's it, guys. So like I can say, I ain't gonna keep going long, right? Got a couple things to take care of this evening. For the most part, again, y'all see what's going on with this market. Y'all know, certain levels of things that you need to kind of pay attention to going forward to tomorrow. As of now, the market is still kind of treading water here after hours. It's not necessarily dropping. It's not necessarily just, again, gang busting to the upside. Of course, it's just setting up like it did the last few days at the same hour of the day. It's just sitting there going sideways enough to kind of what? Get into the futures market, right? Right? It's sitting there trying to figure out what's going to happen with this election. It's trying to read the news reels. It's trying to pay attention to what's going on forward with that, right? Any drama that's out there, still left out there, they're going to be right there to what? To benefit off of it, right? That's what the markets do, right? That's what the markets do. It's going to be right there to benefit off of it. So of course, we're going to be strategizing, right? We're going to stay humbled and quiet and just watch, right? We're gonna watch, right? We're gonna watch, right? Because in us doing so, it's only going to present ourselves, with more clarity and more better decision making that can come from that. Because no matter what the market looks like tomorrow or even tonight going into tomorrow, we best believe that after they make such a move like this here, it has to have some kind of form of finale. Not that it's going to be the end all be all, but a finale if it's just for what? A small moment, right? So if it's going to pull back a little bit, or if we're going to keep rocking it higher, guess what? We're going to be ready one way or the other. We're going to be ready one way or the other. We're going to be sitting right there, with our little chips in hand, ready to what? Make it happen. So we'll let them fight through the night. Let them, let Pennsylvania keep fighting. We'll let North Carolina keep fighting and Arizona and Nevada, all that. But we pretty much know what's going on at this point. But we'll let them keep fighting. We'll let them keep playing these little reindeer games, right? That's their playbook. That's their playbook, right? They love playing reindeer games, right? So again, for the most part, the market say, okay, if y'all gonna do that, then we just gonna keep riding. We're gonna keep buying all this fear. We're gonna keep buying all this fear. Everybody that's mad at the market right now are people that pretty much people who voted for Trump. Because they really took to heart that, like he said, if he don't get reelected, he's going to do what? Crash the market, right? Or the market's going to crash. Again, all my MAGA friends out there, right? All my MAGA homeboys and homegirls out there that love MAGA, MAGA, right? Right. It ain't looking too good for y'all right now. I'm just saying, because I'm neutral, all right? I don't have no dog in the fight, right? But I'm gonna go in on both sides, right? Because I understand. Right? You have to be if you're a grown person, you put all that energy into another grown person like that, something ain't right. That's just my opinion. Of course, that's just my opinion. Right? No disrespect, but if you put all that energy into another grown person, and here it is, you grown, and you got people that look up to you and answer to you, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Right? So, for all my MAGA friends and fans and family out there, hey, come on now. Come on, guys, we can do better. Right, we could do a lot better. Right, so I'm just saying, let's get that money. So right now the market is still bullish. So and it used to me fighting against it. So the market's still bullish. I'm gonna ride out. right? If the market gonna stay bullish, I'm gonna ride it till I can't ride it any longer, right? Because look at it, that's how Wall Street came in into the market. What, Monday, right? Wall Street came into the market Monday, boy. I'm talking about with two big oxen up. I'm talking about, hey, getting it, and they haven't looked back since. They haven't looked back like one. Keep in mind, we have not had one red day this entire week, and it's an election week, right? So I'm like, man, look here. If they bullish, I'm bullish too. We trade the market up, we trade the market down. We don't look at it. We ain't got we look at it. We must be two sides, right? That's the one time you can say that I'm two sides, right? Must be two sides. Yeah, when it comes to this money, I'm gonna trade the market up, I'm gonna trade the market down. Right, and if it's bullish, I'm gonna ride it and hold on as long as I can, right, until I can't take it any further, right. So I'm just saying, just make good decisions, guys. Right, we know what's going on, right? We know what's going on. We're gonna stay prepared, right? We're gonna stay prepared, right? So just want to make sure I leave y'all that real quick. So that's it, guys. Let me see. I got to check and make sure. Let me see. I got a training session this evening here. Make sure everything's good to go with that, because if we postpone till tomorrow, we keep going. We keep getting it in here, right? But I got to make sure business first, right? Business first. Right, business first. Let's see here. I got a lot of some makeup sessions too anyway, because of Tuesday. I was going hard all day Tuesday, but time got behind me a little bit too. But I've got some few makeup sessions to take care of. Yeah, so real quick, let me do this real quick. Let me do a couple little messages real quick. I'll be right back. So you know how I go. So let me drop some of that footage for y'all real quick while I go handle this really quick here. Right, I'll be right back here.
For 400 years, you had your knees on our necks. A garden of evil with no seeds of respect. In America's mirror, all she sees is regret. Instead of letting blood live, they begging for bloodlet. Revenge is a dish that's served on platelets. Transfusion of confusion, abusing our intellect. I can't be bought with a $1,200 check, even though $1,200 can make a meal stretch. My mama wasn't rich, but she earned my respect. She made a little bit of money for a lot of blood, tears, and sweat. Jumping up and down on police cars, I'm vexed. After Chauvin killed George Floyd, we got next. Molotov cocktails, anarchy on the set. The rich took the loot, so now we loot shit. Feeling like a caged tiger that's whipped to do tricks. That's why I started fires and yelled and threw bricks. They tried to run me over and arrest me and shit. Tase pepper spray and engage with the kid. They ran up in the state house with them AKs quick. But let a nigga try and do that white boy shit. Won't be no rubber bullets ricocheting off ribs. But the white supremacists go in the cops' faces spit. Try to barbecue? Becky call the cops on the kid. Hoping and praying it be some Emmett Till shit. Sandra wasn't bland. They hated Mike cause he brown. Trayvon should have had an Aston Martin riding around. Amadou Diallo, it's way too many to follow. Vato, how much of my pride I gotta swallow? God only knows how deep this plan goes. I was dealing with this shit as a teen in Kangos. Harassed by cops, word to my ancestors' souls. And watching that man die slow left a hole. He cried for his mama as the murder unfold. If it wasn't for them phones, Chauvin would be at home. Feeling justified because of George's skin tone. I'm telling it to those with melanin, you're not alone. The new Malcolm, Martin, and Marcuses are now grown. America's a graveyard full of black men's bones. And I ain't got to tell you that Breonna Taylor got slayed in her own home. Had they lived, Sean could have rocked bells. Eric could have garnered attention. Beyond the t-shirts and obituary mentions. Oscar could have been counting grants. Tamir could have went to Rice. They owed them cops nothing, but all of them paid the price. So yeah, you right. We should protect our Second Amendment rights. Cause in a second, a dirty cop could kick the door in at night. A 2-4-2 finna life for life. We refuse to live in hell while you living in paradise. Being black in America's like rolling a pair of dice. But the stakes are way higher, you gambling with my life.
All right, guys. Just had to get a couple of messages in real quick. Make sure I have all my time stamped in play. Again, like I said, I got some training sessions this evening here. Just want to make sure everybody's solid with that. But yeah, so kind of like I said before, we know what's what we have to prepare for going out this week. Now next week's gonna be something different. Of course, it's gonna be wide open next week. Whatever happens between now and the weekend, the market is pretty much has in itself and in its mind, it has made a legendary move, and it's gonna do a couple things, right? It's either going take out the all-time high, potentially, if things really get shaking and baking. If they don't do it by this week and the market don't dump Friday, then more than likely they're going to take out the all-time high, right? They're going to take out this 358, right? 358 and change, whatever. And, from there, you're going to still, keep hearing people say the market's still what? The market is still cheap, right? It's still what? Undervalued in their mind. And so real quick, last little thing I'm going to look at here real quick here. On the way out the door here is that point too. Again, I know I didn't speak about it in detail. I spoke about it just tomorrow, but again, just look at the top of this linear regression band. Keep your eye on this one here, especially going into the next week, right? Especially going into the next week. So we got to, anywhere along this linear regression band up at that point there, we're going to be targets that we kind of keep our eye on, right? So let's say we just draw the line from there up until what's next week. Expiration week is what the 16th. What day is it? I think it's the 16th, if I'm not mistaken. Real quick, let me run over here and check real fast here on the it's the let me see here. Because I have a feeling that one way or the other here, thinking about it, the markets are definitely poised to the 13th, excuse me, the 13th, right? It's the 13th. Right, so the 13th, we're gonna keep our eyes on that. Right now, again, look at Roku banging right now. So Roku must have beat earnings. I think Roku had earnings tonight. So I just looked at bar chart. Roku up here banging up after hours. They up $6.93 after hours. So Roku, it has made a new high. They up to 231, 232 right now. Roku, the streaming service, I guess somewhat the the cousin, little sister of Netflix in its own right. I'm not gonna say they can really competitors because they don't have any kind of original content. They just parasite off everybody else's systems and so forth, and they're making money. And they're making a lot of it, too, because they don't have a lot of overhead. So Roku has a really good business model. People felt, keep sleeping on Roku. I remember we used to day trade Roku right down around $30 level, $20 level, right? Shucks, that thing up there $231 now, right? 232 to be exact. But it's just been in a bang out, mode ever since. So right now, Roku is banging here after hours, guys. It is up. About about $6-7, right? So shout out to Roku, continuously, making things happen. So again, next week, again, like I said, this is the week, that we got to kind of keep our eye on for next week. If the market kind of gets anywhere up in this area here, that's going to be something, that's going to be something awesome to watch. if they find a way to get this thing, up to that level by then, if they feeling that good about the market, then hey, we'll see. We shall see. So we're talking about what? At the top, we're around about 365, as high as 367. I mean, is it far-fetched? No. Is it plausible? Yes. Is it going to happen? Can't say, right? Do you need to be banking on it? No. You need to be trading what the market offers you every day, right? First and foremost, trade what the market offers you day to day. If you're feeling lucky and want to buy you some leaps and, say, I'm going to try to front load it, hey, good luck. But I'm just saying, these are some areas that we're going to have on the radar to watch. And it's the same way to the downside. It's the same way to the downside. The 331 area, it's 331, anywhere from 331, close to that of that 332, 333 area. Keep your eye on that. All right, keep your eyes on that area too next week. Of course, if the market plummets and falls down and breaks that, then you already know what to look for. All this area here to take out first, liquidity, take that out first, and then take out this what? These little small spots in between the turns over here on the chart. After that, you got a 20-day moving average sitting here just smiling at 320. Right? So if the market is going to make a plummet or a dump or a run to the downside, know your check down areas, right? Know your check down areas. Same way to the upside. Know your what? Right? Your resistance level to the way to the upside. Right? We got a little small one here already. Matter of fact, let me just extend this candle all the way out so that way we have no confusion on what we're talking about in that perspective. Right? So if it takes out that guy, it takes those two candles out, in that case, it'll ride out a little bit, and maybe go out there and do something, do something bigger and better, and possibly take out that 356. Right? But we'll see. All right, we shall see, as they say, right? So right now, it's still up after hours, 350.90, 89 at this point after hours on the S&P. Keep your eye on that. Like I said, just keep your eye on that for the rest of the evening. And I think that's for the most part, that's everything I wanted to discuss at this point. Like I said, I would love to kind of keep banging out with the family, but I got some obligations, right? Got to make sure I, honor my obligations. All right. So right here, as you can see right here, I just want to show you that real quick. Look at Roku. Roku banging after hours. It's up $7 here after hours so far. Again, put up $9 today and an additional $7 here after hours. So a big day for Roku overall. I mean, just a big, big gangster move, so to speak, right? Roku coming all the way down from around about, 216, somewhere around the 216, 215, 216 area, right? And now up to 232. So basically, picking up another additional, big move, as you can see right here. Right, 15, 17, $17 today. Right, big move for Roku today. Right, and I thought about buying some Roku calls. To true story. I'm not going to sit and placate. I sure thought about it. I thought about it actually Monday, and because I also fixated in trading the SPY at that point. All that money that the SPY was producing. I was like, man, I whatever. Right, whatever. Can't trade them all. All right. So that's it, guys. So again, let me get ready to matter of fact, let me see what the time looked like because I got to make sure. All right, okay, I'm waiting to get some messages back. Oh. 1 second, guys. Make sure I get these messages out. All right, so got that out the way there. That's it. So we got a little extra time here, a couple of seconds. I got about 15 more minutes. So, so about 15 more minutes left. Oh, real quick. So yeah, if anybody want to, since we don't have that much time left, um, um, uh, message back and forth real quick to the fam. Right, getting it in, getting it in, getting it in, as they say. Again, as y'all see there again, Roku still banging here after hours. Let's take another quick little look at the S&P real quick here. And then we'll do a quick little blitz to the election side. Matter of fact, here's the link. I know we don't have long, but if you do want to come on, for this last little bit of time, while I'm waiting to kind of, get my time together here for us, my training session this evening here. Let me see if I can, 1 second. There's that link there. And we'll look at the spy here on the way out the door. And then we'll do a little quick little look at the seeing what's going on over there on the election side of the house, right? Matter of fact, let me switch over there really quick here, and let's see what's happening if they're still riding with Biden, right? That's what they're saying, right? We riding with Biden. I'm like, what? Good luck with that, but good luck with Trump too. Right, good luck with either of those two guys there. I am straight, all right, on either of those guys. But as of now, of course, here we go. Here we go. Georgia to conduct its first risk limiting audit. All right, Sister Monica, you know about them audits, right? The process of going through, taking the people through audits, right? That's your neck of the woods there. So Georgia to conduct its first risk limiting audit before certifying election results. So they trying to what? Check it twice, right? Check it once, check it twice. Make sure there ain't nobody naughty or nice, right? So Georgia taking it to the next level. So they got their little lawsuit from Trump, and they like, look, you finna start that craziness, we're gonna go ahead and audit our own self. That way we eliminate the confusion right out the gate. So Georgia already starting to kind of, I guess, backstop the idea that this thing can get a little crazy. So it says another wrinkle to closely watch tabulation in Georgia. Before certifying results. Georgia election officials under a new state law will begin Friday. What they're calling a risk limiting audit to ensure the votes were accurately counted. Under a risk limiting audit, RLA, a statistically meaningful sample of ballots are examined by hand to see whether the declared winner truly won. Of course, they're just them going through the ballots again. Of course, the mail-in ballots, I think, at this point, or they're gonna count all of them. I'm not sure. That's interesting. Right, that's interesting. Right, the audit is mathematically designed to catch anomalies that would arise from misconfigured machines, procedural errors, or intentional attack. Okay. Some quality control, maybe, if anything. Sound like quality control to me. Right? Look, quality control, nothing more, no less. But in a lawsuit filed by the election technology activist, University of California, Berkeley statistics professor Philip Stark, who helped pioneer the concept of RLAs, said in the affidavit that the state's procedures are more of a pilot than a true RLA. So they're just, again, quality control, right? Put a technical name to it, but it's more quality control, right? Just to make sure we kind of hush all this lawsuit stuff, right? So that's because Georgia's using the new electronic ballot marking devices, right? So they got a new machine. So we're going to double check the machines, make sure they ain't kind of send 5 votes through, and that was supposed to be counted for 1, right? Or the vice versa, or the opposite, right? Right. So devices that print out paper records rather than the hand marked paper ballots necessary for the high quality audit trail, he said. Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, Raffensperger, what's the name, right? I thought it was Raffensperger, right? Said Wednesday that the state's review will produce over 90% confidence level in the results and certification. It will be reached by November the 13th. See, they finna drag this thing out. We kind of had a feeling they was going to try to do that, though. Not that they just want to, just that, again, Trump is not going to go out without a fight. He's already made that known. He's been speaking about that months in advance. we're prepared to fight. We're prepared to fight if they try any kind of voter fraud in election. We're prepared to fight. That's, I mean, his words. He got what he wanted. It's gonna hurt him in the end, I think, more than help him. Right? That's just my opinion. I think it's gonna hurt him more than help him. Right? So, I mean, good luck. You know, good luck. Look at it. Russians have no need to spread misinformation. Trump and his allies are doing it for him. I kind of agree with that. Because some of these people just, you know, they just really are, you know, void of reality right now. I mean, the process of civics, how this stuff even work, they're sitting there trying to act like the process of how we've been voting in this country for years is wrong all of a sudden just because they got behind. Just because their guys trailing in the polls, all of a sudden the system is broke. I'm like, seriously? Y'all wasn't saying that with Barack? Y'all wasn't saying that with Bush? First, 1 and 2? Y'all, man, look. Sometimes you got to take that L, bro. Go and take that L and call it a day. Right? Go ahead and take that L, call it a day, live to fight another 4 years down the road, right? Because this one here, it ain't looking too good right now for your homie, right? Your homie ain't looking too good right now, right? He might have to wear this L really well because, I mean, he was the only one cheerleading hard, you know, the way he was. Like, he just thought he was just a shoe-in. Right? He pretty much thought he was a shoe-in. Right? So they can recount, you know, you can flip the money over and count it the one way and flip the money back over and count it another way again. At the end of the day, what's all that's there going to be there? All right? Technically. Of course, that don't mean that they can't be trying to do nothing fraudulent. I'm not saying that they probably are not, whatever. I'm just saying, if they got some, you know, some tangible paper slips in their hand, they're going to equal to what they are, you know, in terms of whatsoever there. That's what's, you know, whatever that's there, I should say. No matter how you count it. All right? Because that popular vote is just ridiculous. Look at this. Joe Biden got 72 million votes. 72 million. That's more than anybody ever got in American history. 72 million. So the popular vote ain't enough for discussion, but of course, you know, that's not the determining factor for an election. But 72 million. Basically 72.6 to be exact, close to 73. And Trump has 68, 68.7, so 69. Give him that. And then the other, people, the Green Party, the Libertarian Party, and the, Kanye West. Kanye West even got some votes. Y'all did y'all see that? Did y'all see that? I don't know if y'all saw that, but Kanye West even got some votes, right? Kanye West got like about 50,000 votes. Somewhere about 50,000, 60,000 votes. I saw that thing and bust out loud. I said, I almost died. But I was like, look at Kanye West. Kanye West and got on the ballot and got some votes. About 60,000 too. True story. Kanye got about 60,000 votes. So I'm like, man, hey, do your thing, Kanye, do your thing, right? If that's the case, of course, he wasn't enough to disrupt this election, but nonetheless, shout out to him. He said he got 10,000 in Tennessee. I can believe it. I believe it. Memphis, Tennessee area. They going down with Kanye. Kanye was, matter of fact, he was all down in South Carolina. Didn't he hold a rally in his mind? I guess you want to call it a rally. He held a rally down in South Carolina, Kanye West, and was down there crying on the stage. A grown man out there crying. That boy, you got emotional, man. You got, boy. I understand you feeling some kind of way, but man, you gotta stop all that crying, man. You running for president, right? You're not running for, I don't know, powder puff, something. I don't, man. Look, I get it, man. I know a lot of stuff on your mind. Think about your ancestors. That might have been what it was. Could have been. Who knows? But don't be out there doing that in front of the stage, because people gonna look at you as a sign of weakness. Right? People don't like to see no crybabies at no election time. They need to see somebody that's gonna be what, in their mind, gangster. Like just like kind of like how Trump was. Look at Kanye. Kanye got about 50,000 votes. Man, Kanye gonna sell a lot of albums after this. He's like, man, I ran for president. Huh. Look at that. Look at some of the numbers there. 10,000 in Tennessee, right? 4,000 in Utah, 1,200, and even Vermont, Oklahoma put out 5 for him. Mississippi put out 3. Minnesota put out 6. Look at Louisiana. Look at Louisiana. Look at the Lou. Kentucky put out 6,000. And he was all leaving Mitch McConnell stumping ground, catching votes, right? And they out there catching votes and catching feelings. Iowa, 3,000. Look at that. Iowa and Idaho, middle of nowhere. They got even voted for him. Colorado, of course, they out there smoking out there. They smoking, right? 6,000. Arkansas gave him about near 4,000. Kanye, they got some votes on y'all. Y'all didn't even know it. Look at that. Get him, Kanye. Get him, Kanye. Kanye, I like, man, y'all mess around. Let me build up my base. I'll be back at this thing 4 years from now. I'm going to get about $1 million. All right, I'm going to get $1 million next time. About 2-3 million if I get a chance, anything to do with it. Right? So, I mean, look at Kanye. They got it in on y'all. Kanye didn't snatched up him a few little votes. Right, so, shout out to Kanye West. People starting to realize that now, man. All this, voting for these so-called, lifelong politicians, man, them days probably over with. They still gonna have their place, but again, these political parties, man, hey, right? It might be a thing of the past now. You might have to just realize that, the power is in the hand of the people as it's supposed to be, and as it, pretty much has always been, when they wake up and realize it. And so maybe they might just start to vote that way. Maybe they start writing their names in the ballots more often. Who knows? We'll see. Because again, of course, if I did vote, I did not. And ain't no shame in my game, right? Ain't anybody gonna browbeat me and shame me into voting for that foolishness, that doggone pointer show, that clown show. I'm straight. Y'all can have that, right? I've seen enough, right? I've had enough and I've seen enough, right? Y'all put some mature people up there, then maybe you may get my vote. You put some mature people out there that I can look at from a place of respect, then maybe I'll vote. But until then, look, y'all can kick rocks, right? Y'all can kick rocks, right? Because I ain't finna play that game. I don't do little fairy tales and child games. I'm sorry. I just can't do it. I can't do it. Right. Too old, been through too much. I'm sorry. All right. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what the market gonna do. So again, real quick, thank y'all again for tuning in a little bit. I think I got, most of the parts, things I want to talk about out the way this evening thus far. Of course, we know what's going on. We'll just keep our eye out, on the numbers tonight. And that's if they're gonna do anything. It seems like we in for the dogfight at this point. We may get a state call tonight. I think they're gonna try to, stretch it out, in my opinion, because I don't know if that's their game plan or not. But at this point, it seems evident, So I don't know. I mean, Nevada, really? Why are they holding up? Nevada, come on, them votes would have been in. The state's, not that really big for its populace, so they might just be saving it for tomorrow. That could be what it is. But I mean, the way you look at it, I mean, if Nevada go right, if Nevada, goes, unofficially but officially tonight, that pretty much all but it all but seals it for Joe Biden. Of course, we already kind of see it that way now. For the most part, some of us do, right? Some people still like, no, man, hold up, Emporium, man, about these votes, though, about these votes. Right, I'm just saying, this is what they trying to say, right? Based upon how they didn't kind of, put their little numbers together themselves. So I'll let them shoot their own self in the foot. But as of now, looks like your boy, Trump about to take this L. Like he about to carry this L all the way back to, back to Florida, right? Because he can't go back to New York. They ran him out of New York. He can't. I don't think Trump can ever go back to New York. Not for far as living. He might still conduct some business up there, but he can't live up there no more. They done made that very clear, right? The governor, man, it's a lot of people there that's real hot at Trump on some mafia stuff. True story, right? On some mafia stuff. Not making that up too. With or without Secret Service, they look like, man, look, you can't come up here, bro. Don't even come up here no more. All right, so hey, it is what it is, I guess. It is what it is, I guess. Yeah, them courts waiting on it. I believe that, Sister Monica. Them courts waiting on it too. Look here. Yeah. Yeah, he got a lot of debt to kind of pay, right? Man, so yeah, we'll see how this turns out, of course. And he still could be up for charges too. Because they can't put a sitting president, can't bring a sitting president under charges. That's why he skated with all that stuff that happened. That was pretty much, yeah, y'all saw this stuff like I did. I'm not going to rehash it. But yeah, he can be brought up for charges now. Some of the stuff, that they can kind of hit him on, void of, on a personal side. So of course, like I said, first place they're gonna try to file him at in probably the state of New York too. All right, that'd probably be the first state they try that. Right, so anyway, so we'll be prepared to see how this thing unfolds. Yep, tax evasion. Yep, second district tax evasion. There you go. Sister Monica be on it, boy. See, that's why I say, man, look here, gotta love the dream team, right? Gotta love the dream team, right? So it can get very, very slippery for Senor Trump, as they say, right? Senor Trump, right? He's gonna be around here, singing him a sad song, boy. They mess around and catch him up. I'm just saying, he didn't talk a lot of trash. You keep in mind, he didn't talk a lot of trash since he been in office. He didn't talk a lot of trash. He didn't call nations and countries crap hole nations. He didn't call Baltimore a dusty, a rat-infested city. I mean, he didn't say a lot of stuff. Of course, not that all of it is necessarily false. In a lot of ways, some of it probably off the wall, outlandish. But for the most part, he just came out like, look, man, y'all look about that. Right? Y'all just ratchet. Gloat this little, his little inherited success as if he worked hard for it. Like, no, bro, you didn't work for that. Come on now. Come on, Trump. Why are you playing like that? Right. So again, so that's what we're looking like. So right now, the future market actually just opened up at 6 p.m. The future market is live and it's taking a dive. It may not last, but it's taking a dive right now momentarily. There's people that have contracts, sitting and waiting, that probably bought put contracts, thinking the market's going to kind of sell off today. And them contracts got filled when the future market opened up. And, the market took a small little dive here, at the beginning of the future market here. Let me go over here really quick and show this here. I got to get off here at 6 o'clock. I got to get ready here. Yeah, but future market right now, they took a small little dive to the downside here. Just opened up at 6 p.m. As you see, the U.S. 30, which is the Dow, and the U.S. 500, the SPY. Tech sector, obviously, the QQQs, NASDAQ. Of course, paring back some of those gains today. We saw that last night, right? We saw it last night. We saw it the night of the election. Who knows, right? They might just mean it tonight, right? They just might mean it tonight. We'll see. I mean, I don't really think so, but it's just an opinion, of course, right? Just an opinion. At some point, they'll try to fight back, buy the dip, as they say, buy the dip, bro, buy the dip, right? Buy the dip. We'll let them buy the dip, and we'll just sit back and wait on and see what's going to happen first thing tomorrow, because, of course, that's what's going to really reveal if we're going to have any kind of follow-through this evening, from this evening until tomorrow. Well, we have to let the rest of this market unfold. So Asia session kicks online. In terms of China, comes online around about 9 p.m. So that's going to really, give the market either a bump or a jolt, to the downside, because, of course, we like to trade in correlation to the, Asian market a lot. China, that is. Of course, we somewhat supposed to be enemies in the Trump mind, but the market, always trades parallel to the Asian market, right? So, of course, two superpowers, that could be it. Who knows? But the more trash they talked about China, they always depend on China market to kind of help float theirs throughout the night, though. Ain't that something? Just show you how crazy it is out there. And people out there, all these fake patriotic people like, man, I can't stand these communist Chinas and Chinese people that come to China. And soon when they open up and they start market at 9 p.m., come on, China, pump, China. They be rooting for China. I be in the room like, listen to these hypocrites. Look at these old fake flogging behind people. They fake it in a $3 bill, boy. I tell you, these jokers so fake, right? They communists and they this and they that. And as soon as they market open up, pump, China, pump, right? Because it helps a lot of American markets, especially when the market is down on our side. If China come out pumping at 9 p.m., all of a sudden the SPY turn around. The QQQs will turn around, NASDAQ turn around, all the stocks turn around. And then it's like, oh, go Trump, go China, go China, go China. Right? These jokers fake, boy. They fake. Yeah, Neo battery event. Yeah, they got a battery event coming up too. All right. So y'all on it. See, like, y'all been getting it. I love it, man. So I wish I had more time. I got to get off here though real quick so I get ready for this training session. But thank y'all again for tuning in. Thank y'all for all y'all got, for all what you do, guys. I mean, seriously, we would not be where we are today without you all. Of course, I always like to make sure I pay homage to everybody that comes through because I understand, again, you're giving up a little bit of your time because we work over here. We are working, right? We have a little fun in the process too, but we are going to work, right? We're always in work mode. And so by that very token and that very ideology, I want to always say, man, I commend you guys for taking a chance on yourself, making that sacrifice to learn this. You're still learning for some of you guys. Stay diligent, stay hungry, stay patient, right? This is a marathon, not a sprint, right? It's a marathon, not a sprint, right? We will get better with time. You're going to get better with time. This does not require certification here. This does not require college education. Well, we get the equivalency of a college education, of course, when we studying, but it does not require you have to go and spend money at that level to get some kind of 4-year degree to learn how to trade the stock market. Right, so we do all this stuff from an organic perspective, right? Strictly organic. We're consumers first, right? We were consumers first. Now we're just business owner mindsets, executive side of the house, reading the financials, reading the technicals, understanding, supply chains and R&D and M&A, mergers and acquisitions. We learn how to understand all those things now, how to make up the bigger macro picture of a company. Once that makes sense, then if we want to invest in it, so be it, right? So be it at that point. Right, so shout out to everybody again that take the time to learn something new, to find a way that they can grow them a bag. So that's what we study for. That's what we crank this channel up for every single day. That's the only reason why I'm gonna crank it up. Right, I'm not gonna crank it up for anything else besides, find a way to make some money. All right, that's just where my energy is at. I don't really have a whole lot of energy to talk about a whole lot of other things outside of that. That's not parallel with my opportunity in this case. Right, in this case, not that I may not in the future, but as of now, I like where we're focused at, right? It's no nonsense, it's straight to paper. I mean, it's straight to the paper, right? And that's it, right? So thank y'all for tuning in again. Like I said before, everybody who shows love, thanks for all the likes. If you subscribe, if you're new, hang out, you like what we do over here, yeah, go ahead and subscribe, man. You already know what it's gonna be, right? When we come on, so thank y'all again. So with that being said, I'm gonna get ready to close out. Thank y'all for tuning in again. The same way we open up, we're gonna close out. Right. Appreciate you guys. Look forward to having the next live stream with you guys somewhere soon. Right. If not, I may get lucky and get back on again later this evening, see what the election's looking like. If not, maybe we'll get lucky tomorrow. But until then, in the meantime, in between time, right, trade safe, choose well, and stay green, my friends. Right. Peace, power, property, everybody. Right. And believe y'all with the national anthem. All right. With that being said, we're going to close out right there. Right. So stay safe, stay healthy. Until next time, guys. Peace, power, profit, everybody. See y'all on the next live. Thank y'all, guys.